Hi! Alright, this video is going to be over the course of probably a couple of weeks to record just because I don't do everything in one sitting. If you know me and seen my other videos, you'll know that that's what I do. But anyway, I'm going to be attempting to make, hang on, let me grab her actually, she's back here. Alright, I'm going to try and make a bluey tail, so I figure it might be kind of fun to try, and I enjoy Bluey, the show, way too much. I've watched the series, all the episodes that are out 4 times through in the past year, so yeah, I might have a small problem, but it's my comfort show, so you know. Anyway, so that's why I wanted to make a little Bluey tail. I've wanted to for quite a while, but Dan finally talked me into doing it, so thanks, Dan. But yeah, so I just did a video, this is how you're gonna know that the video took a while, like, for me to do in between and, like, finally put up. I just recorded how to braid yarn. Hopefully that was helpful, and if you are having troubles with it, I do have a separate video on it. Hopefully it turned out well enough so you can understand it and stuff. I haven't watched it back because I literally just did it. But yeah, I do have a video on how to braid yarn if you're struggling, because it can be a little bit tricky. But yeah, so I'm going to be showing you a little bit of that here today, right now. And then I'm going to stop recording and take a break because, again, that's about all I can handle in one sitting. Anyway, that's not the point. For the middle of the tail, I am using black. I know it's not the right color, but I figure I'm going to put enough of Bluey's real color around it. It won't really be noticeable, and I have a lot. This is from my black tail that I have that I made a couple years ago. I still have this yarn. It is, what is it? I don't have the label anymore. Red Heart Super Saver yarn, I think. So that's what this is. It's just from Walmart. And then for the yarn that I'm going to be using for Bluey's tail are these two. So these two are from Michael's. What color are we? This one is called Navy. I don't know if this is like a Michael's brand or whatever, but it's called Loops and Threads. Again, I don't know if it's a Michael's specific brand or anything, but that's just the yarn that I got. So yeah, that's the darker one, and then this color is Clear Blue. It's the same brand of yarn. Hopefully it works well. I tried brushing it out a little bit and it seems to be okay so far, so fingers crossed. So to start your tail, you want to measure basically how long you want it to be. This yarn that I cut is, let me get my tape measure, I actually forgot how long it is. This is about 33 inches long of yarn, so that means it was 66 inches each piece of yarn that I cut. It's a long one, so I aimed for 30, but it went over a little bit, but that's okay. So yeah, it's 33 inches per, like, side, so it's pretty long. Because once you braid it, it will shrink a little bit because obviously it'll get thicker. So that's just, I don't really know, like, the exact reason why. It's just because you're putting all the strings tighter together. So yeah, you need to cut it long. You can always take it off if it's too long, but you can't add more. So that was my logic with cutting it so long, and giving myself, a couple of extra inches to play with. What I just stepped on reminded me I need to show you everything that you're going to need. Obviously the yarn, tape measure, just to, you know, this is just a tape measure, just to, you know, see how long you want things to be. If not, you can just eyeball it. This is very, very important. It's a wire, like, pet brush. Other things that you can use in place of this if you don't have one, genuinely do not know, because this is the only thing that I've ever used. You could try using, like, a hair comb, not like a brush, but like the hair comb, like the flat ones, like skinny little picks, maybe. I don't know the right word for it, but you can try one of those maybe if it's strong enough. But I haven't tried anything else, so I don't know what else would work. So yeah, just a metal pet brush. This is like a cat one, so this is the best thing that I know that works for brushing out the yarn to make it fluffy. I have this just because I'm going to be saving the fluff, so see, you can see that I tried brushing out some. Just a bucket or something to put the fluff in, because I'm going to save it and use it as stuffing. If you use this, be extremely careful because it is acrylic yarn. Oh yeah, make sure it's acrylic yarn. I haven't tried anything else. Cotton might work, but too much of it might rip out, so I'm unsure. Same with fur. I don't think like wool or anything would work because it would probably just rip out and not get super fluffy. So I use 100% acrylic. If you do use a flat iron, be extremely, extremely careful with it, okay? Because it can burn the acrylic because it's plastic. It can burn it very, very, very easily and melt it, and it does get extremely hot, so be careful touching it. You might burn yourself. But yeah, if you do use a flat iron, it's to, like, after you brush out the yarn, it's to make it a little bit flatter, just make it look kind of shiny. So you can use one. If not, it's not a big deal, and if you do, please be careful. It is very dangerous. You could hurt yourself quite badly. I do all the time, so I'm speaking from experience. Scissors are obvious. You need these for cutting the yarn and everything. And the last thing that you need, I have, you can use a crochet hook, which is just as easy, or I have a latch hook. Just because it was more convenient for me to grab. You will need that as well to put the yarn onto the braid, like the fluffy bits onto the braid. So yeah, that's everything that you're gonna need. It's not a lot, but it is, you know, a lot of weird things. So things that you don't normally see or have on hand. To start with the braiding, you take one of the outsides and fold it to the middle, and then you take the other outside and fold it to the middle, and then just keep doing that, moving the outsides to the center all the way down, and that's all it takes to braid. I'm all done braiding it. Now you can see how short it got. It's now, let's see, just out of pure curiosity, from the end of the braid, not counting the like unbraided bits, to the top, it is 21 inches. So yeah, that's a good difference. Anyway, I'm holding the ends because I haven't tied it yet. And the best way to do it that I have found, because you can't really knot this, is I just cut another piece of yarn and I'm gonna tie it. I don't know how I'm gonna show you, but I put the end down on it and then get it as close to the end as possible and wrap it around the braid. Sorry, I'm focusing. And then just tie it super tight. So that way it doesn't unravel. And the ends are not going to be even, by the way. Like the unbraided bit is not going to be, would you stay put, even, just because that's how braiding works. If it bothers you, you can cut it to make it even, but when you brush it out, you're gonna lose so much of it that it's gonna kind of make itself even. Because the yarn has a natural breaking point with the fluffy that I've noticed. Like these longer ones are not gonna be like all fluff. They're going to break down to like probably just like this much of the fluff. So we're gonna lose like 3/4 of that, which is fine. Again, like it's not a big deal, but just like letting you know, when you cut your fluffy, I'll show you when I do it. The fluffy bits that you're going to put onto the braid, don't make the strands super long because it doesn't really matter. You're just going to waste more yarn. Anyway, since I'm going to make this bit fluffy here, I'll show you a little bit of how to do it. The best way to do it is not by doing it like on your own skin. And I will warn you, your fingernails and hands are going to take a beating because this thing is kind of painful. So again, it's not a pain-free craft to be doing. But yeah, you just take the, it's very, very satisfying. I enjoy it a lot. But you take the brush and then just take it to the yarn and start ripping it out. Yes, I know it's brutal, but again, it's fun and relaxing to me. The best way to do it is not by putting the brush on your knee and brushing it out. It's probably, you know, you should probably get like a piece of cardboard or something and put your yarn on it that you're going to be brushing on that cardboard and then brush it out, so that way you don't hurt yourself or whatever you're brushing on. Like if you do it on fabric or flooring or something like that, it might scratch it up like crazy or ruin the fabric. I say is, again, I'm doing it on my knee, so it's not the smartest thing to do, because it does, the metal bits do a lot of damage. Oh, and this will get full very quickly, so whenever it gets full, you have to take it off and clean it up and put it in either your trash can or a bag or whatever if you're saving it. All right, it is still the same day, so yay me. It's just much later on, obviously, and you're really low, so I kind of have to hunch over here. So before I had to sit on a block, and now you're too low, but whatever, it'll work for now. All I did was I put a couple of the blue ones on, and it actually covers the black pretty good. Also, obviously, the black is all brushed out now. As you can see, a lot came off. Here's how my bucket of fur fluff is doing. It's not too bad, but there is quite a bit, and most of that is all the black stuff that was just on the end. So yeah, again, a lot comes off. Don't be afraid. I was terrified when I first started brushing it, because I thought I was just absolutely ruining it with how much came off. But yeah, it's normal. It's gonna happen. I've added some of the, I guess this is the navy color, the darker blue, to the end. And honestly, if you have a latch hook like this one, this is so much easier than the crochet hook. It is really, really nice using this. Highly recommend. But again, you don't have to. A crochet hook works just fine. Just make sure that whatever you're using has a little hook on. Yeah, so to get the yarn on, again, I'm going to try and show you the best way possible here. I went as close as I possibly could to the little string that I tied around it to end the braid. Some of them were like wrapped around that string. That's how close I was. But what you want to do is get your hook. I'm gonna try and show you this the best I possibly can. So if you see me looking over to the side here, that's because that's where my screen is, because I'm doing it on my phone. Anyway, so right along, I have to show you the best way possible, but you need to get it as close to the other bits of yarn as you possibly can, because what I'm going for, because the middle is black and I'm using a different color, it's kind of easier. Actually, I'm gonna try and make it so that when I put all the yarn on, I see no black whatsoever in the middle. That's how tightly this has to be. That's how it's gonna be super fluffy. And when you're putting it on, I have two little pieces of yarn. They're about 4.5 inches long. I don't measure it. I just kind of do whatever feels right, basically. And it has to be somewhat long, so that way you can wrap it around your crochet hook or latch hook thingy. So that way this is why it's amazing to have a latch hook, because it closes like that and it holds the yarn in, and then it just pulls it right through, and it's so lovely and just easy. It's seriously, I'm gonna be using that thing from now on. And then you just pull it. I did not show you that, sorry, I'll do it again. After you do, I was too excited telling you about my new discovery with the latch hook. Anyway, you put it through the yarn as close to the last little bit. Hang on, I have to get it close to me. So you get it in as close to the last little bit that you put in, slide it through, wrap your yarn bit around again, like 2, maybe 3 pieces are max, because if you do more than that, it's a little slippy, there we go. If you do more than that, the knot that you're tying will be too thick and you'll feel it, and it's not like, you know, you don't want a bunch of knots all over it and making it lumpy. Anyway, when you pull it through, you'll have this little loop of where the yarn is, and then you take the ends, the other side of the 2 strands, so it'll be 4 pieces. You take those and then pull it through the loop and then pull it super tight. And then that's attached. That's all you have to do to attach it. Hopefully you could see, because I was watching this and not the screen. But yeah, that's all you do to tie that on there. And then you go around, again, like I said, as close as you can possibly get. If they overlap, if you go into the, like if you pull one from, like if you go into a knot, basically, of one of the pieces that you brushed out, is perfectly fine. Don't worry about that. It'll just be even more tight. Just try not to layer them up too much, because again, it'll be lumpy. And that's not the most nice thing to feel when you're wearing it or whatever. It's just not as smooth. So yeah, there, I got 3 on, and you can see how it's like really close to the other one. It's kind of hard to, again, it's hard to show, but it's super close to the other one. I need to add a ton more there. I am honestly hoping that this one I'll probably have enough of, because it's just the base of her tail. The other one is way over there, and I'm not gonna go get it right now. It's the same size though. Hopefully I have enough of that one. That one I'm a little bit concerned about. I might have to get another one. It's okay if I do, but yeah, I would rather not. But yeah, it's gonna be close, because you need a lot of yarn for this. Anyway, I'm gonna show you this real quick, because I kind of didn't show brushing out the black stuff, because that was just a lot. Yeah, once you have the little bits on here, you'll brush it out. And you can do this when you have a bit more than this on. But yeah, you just hold on to it, or put it on, like I said, a piece of cardboard. So that way you don't ruin anything. Or you can hold it in your hand or put it on your leg, but don't necessarily recommend the leg one, because I tore up my knee earlier with the brush, and that was a little bit painful. So I don't recommend that one. When you get more on here, you'll notice it more, but you'll have to flip it up and down to get it all the way brushed up to the tippy top of it. Because you don't want any of the yarn to look like this, because it'll be really noticeable and look like your tail has like tangles and stuff in it. It's just stuff that I've noticed. It's very, very noticeable. Even if you don't think it is, you'll want to get it at the beginning. That's all that took. Just a little bit of brush. That's it. These ones are the new pieces I just put on. And now I have to do that for, you know, like I said, probably till about here. And it will start looking a lot better. Trust me, the beginning of it doesn't look too impressive. It looks much better as it goes. But yeah, I'm gonna add a bunch more of these little pieces, probably not right now, but over the course of the next couple of days. And I'll try and keep track of how long it takes me to do this total time. So like if you want to do it all in one go, so you'll know how long it takes. But yeah, I am going to work on this a bit more off camera and get this darker blue stuff done. So far, her little tail is exactly the right color. I mean, like this navy color, ignoring the black, this navy color is the exact color that I needed, which is really exciting considering I didn't bring her with me. I just did it from memory. But yeah, I'm gonna continue on with her little tail off camera, and I will be back. Same video, obviously, but I will be back in a moment. Until then, I'll be right back. Enjoy starting your tail. Hang on, let me see if I can get her. Okay, we'll be right back. Alright, it's been, how long has it been? A week and a half, I think, since the last clip. Bluey is back on the shelf up here. She's just out of frame. So I'm not gonna grab her for this, but it's been about a week and a half, and I have had about, how long have I had? I think I've put in a total of 2 hours so far on the tail, but I don't do it every day, and it's definitely not all at once. But yeah, I think I'm like 2-ish hours so far. And this is where we're at. It's coming along really, really well. So it turns out the lighter blue color is actually like really close to Bluey's tail. So I'm very happy. I have only a little bit left to go. So I'm like probably 3/4 of the way there, I would say. But yeah, I am so close to being done. I've got to brush out the blue. I will do that after I get it all done. Just because it seems easier. This yarn, by the way, it brushes out so well. I did the darker stuff, you can see, and it brushes out so well. I did flat iron it already, and it's so soft, and I need to rebrush it, obviously, because it's been going through some stuff getting all the other on. But yeah, I have already flat ironed it, and it's doing amazing. It flat ironed great. This is how it's coming after about 2-ish hours of work. I am out of the little pieces of yarn, so I wanted to show you the best way that I have found for me to, you know, make it the best time, you know the word I'm trying to go for there. The quickest way, most efficient, that's what I was looking for. The most efficient way of making a bunch of little pieces of yarn. I just cut a couple, so I did just make some. And then I was just like, wait, I should probably show this because, you know, this is the best way that I have found to do it. So I grab, and yes, this is how much yarn I have left. I have used a bunch. I'm probably going to be using all of this because I want to get it super thick. But yeah, so the best way to do it is I hold on to the end, and then this will vary on your arm length, obviously. But I wrap it around my elbow and hold it in between my pointer finger and thumb and just kind of hold on to it and just wrap it around a bunch of times. I mean, like, this thing is going to get super thick. And then I'll wrap it, and then I'll show you at the end here because it's, I'm gonna be here for a minute. That should be sufficient. As you can see, I have a lot, and that took maybe 2 minutes for me to do, if that, like maybe a minute, honestly. But yeah, you just cut the end where it's attached to the ball of yarn there, and then you find your other end, kind of sort of, there it is. Find your other end so they're kind of close together. And then take your scissors, again, be careful because, you know, you can't really see where you're aiming. Take your scissors and cut all those pieces of yarn like that, and then you flip it around, come here you flip it around to the other side where it was looped around your elbow, and cut all of those. And then this part, you're really high up, so I have to keep reaching up. I'm not using my tripod right now, you're just on a shelf. So I'm really hoping you don't fall over. So far it's working. But yeah, and then you have all of these pieces that are cut on both ends, and then I just kind of fold it into thirds, so like they'll all be the same length like that. And then again, same thing, just make the loop and then cut them all like that. And then I have the little pieces, I just put them in my little basket thingy that I'm using because that's what I had handy. And then fold it over again in half, and then put it, get in there, go through, put it through all the little loops, and then cut through them. There are a lot, there we go. And then cut through them, and then you have all your little pieces, and they're all the same-ish length. It's close enough. But yeah, and then you just have a bunch just made in like 2 minutes, if that. So yeah, that's the best way that I have found to do that, and this is how much ball of yarn left I have now. I'll probably cut all the rest. I don't know though, but this will probably get used all of. I honestly don't know. This might be good, but I think I might have to do one more set of that wrappy cut thing. But yeah, that's how that's going. I'm gonna get back to work now, and I will see you again in probably a few days, maybe a week. All right, the tail is finally all brushed out. Yay. That took a lot longer than I was expecting it to. I have been at it for about 3 weeks now total. Working time I think is about 5 or 6 hours, I'm not sure, but I think that's about how long. This is because I'll show you the tail in a second, but all the fluff, this is really packed in here. I probably should have grabbed a bigger bucket. I wasn't expecting to have this much, honestly. So yeah, again, don't be afraid when you brush it. You're gonna get a lot of this stuff coming off. Because this is hard packed in here. Like, that's as far as I can go down because it is so packed. It's gonna be a lot of stuffing for the pillow though. Still won't be enough, but you know, it's more than I was expecting. And then I have this much. Oops, these aren't part of you. I cut these. These were, I was gonna do tassels on another project I was working on, but then I was like, no, I like it better without. So I just put them in here, and I'm gonna brush them out to put in with the pillow because might as well. I'm not going to use it for anything else, but this is all the yarn that I have left. I still have some of the blue that you can see kind of the dark blue stuff. I still have quite a bit of that ball of yarn left, but I think I showed you how much I had last time, so that hasn't changed. That's still the same amount. But this is literally all of the light blue that I have left. So I pretty much used the entire ball of yarn, which is quite impressive. I didn't use all of it, but I used most of it. All right, now I will show you the tail. Now, I'm literally halfway through the flat ironing, and being totally honest, I was going to leave it unflat ironed, like not flat ironed, but I like how it's shiny after it's done. So, but it's more fluffy, not flat ironed. It's just not shiny and it's more messy looking. So I wanted to show you it and flat ironed, like both ways, just in case you wanted to do it. So this is the side that is not flat ironed yet. You kind of saw the other side. I'm trying to hide it from you. But this is the side that isn't flat ironed yet, and you can see how thick it is. Like, it's really, really fluffy. One second. Sorry about that, Mom just texted. She was at Home Goods and wanted to ask if, you're welcome. She was asking if I wanted something. It's a Villains, like, cookie jar thing. It's really cool. I'll show you it eventually in one of the videos, I'm sure. But anyway, this, sorry for the distraction. This side is the unflat ironed side, and you can see how fluffy it is. And you can leave it like this totally, and it'll be perfectly fine. It just will look messier, obviously. And I wanted the shininess, so it's going to not be as fluffy as this when it's done. So if you want it thick, you want to leave it on flat iron. But I wanted it shiny, so I am doing it the other way. And this is the side that I am flat ironing, and you can tell the difference, like, see how much not as thick it is. But it just looks so much better to me. Flat ironed, it looks more realistic, and I know it looks terrible right here, especially because that's the halfway point, but look how well this tail moves. I mean, like, it just moves so well. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know how that happened, but it's just like, I'm very grateful at how well it moves. It's like really good. And I've been cleaning and stuff with it on, so I put a little clip on it. To put it on the clip, I know this isn't technically the end of the video yet, but at the very top, you can barely see because I went so hard on all of the little strings. That's how many yarns I put on there, but I just jammed it underneath, so it's in the braid. I don't know if you can even see, it's kind of hard. I jammed it in the braid, so it's just like really, really in there. You can also do like a string or a zip tie or I don't know, literally anything. Paper clip probably would work, not paper clip, safety pin would probably work. Literally anything to hold it on will work. I just had this that didn't have anything on it, and I'll probably change it later because I don't necessarily like how big it is. It's very noticeable, so I'll put something smaller on there eventually, but for right now, it got the job done to test it out. This, by the way, the length of it hits just below the back of my knees when I have it with this clip. When I have it clipped onto my shorts at like my belly button area. So it's pretty long. But yeah, I'm gonna show you how to flat iron it. And again, this is the dangerous part, but also my favorite part. Besides the brushing. I don't know. The brushing, no, I think this is my favorite part, the flat ironing. Because it's very satisfying. Like, the brushing it out is very enjoyable, but I don't like how all the little yarn bits, you know, float around and make everything a mess. That's why I'm in this room. There are less shelves around to get dusty. So I think I like this way better. But anyway, to flat iron, because my flat iron's just been patiently waiting over there. As you can tell, you gotta separate it. And as you go, it'll get easy. Like when you start, you just start at the bottom and then you do the same thing the whole way up. So it doesn't really matter where I'm starting to show you, but you separate it out and you pull a little piece of the unbrushed stuff or unflat iron stuff. You'll be able to tell what needs flat ironing very easily because the shiny versus the, you know, I guess matte or whatever, the messier ones haven't been done. But you just brush it out like that with the same thing that you brushed out the yarn with. And then take your flat iron and press really, really hard and then pull it through. And then brush it back down. When it's still hot, you want to brush it back down to get it into the position. And that's it. And then next one, you just take out the same, you know, it doesn't really matter how much. It's just, I have a very tiny, like a teeny tiny little, I cannot get in the right position. I just have a teeny tiny little flat iron. So it takes me a while. If you had a bigger one, it would probably be a lot, you know, quicker, but I just have a little one because I don't want to ruin my good one on yarn. But yeah, you just brush it out so that way it makes a little like fan of fur, and then pull it, press really, really hard, pull it, and then take your other brush and brush it back down onto the already flat iron stuff. And then you do that the whole way. It's very, very easy and very satisfying because it just it makes it look just, it's just so shiny. As you can tell, I enjoy this a lot. I enjoy the flat ironing bit because, yeah, stuff still flies around. It's acrylic. It's gonna happen. When you're brushing it out and stuff, it's gonna be messy. But it's not as messy as when I just brush it out from the raw, like, yarn, like from looking like, come here, from looking like this. It's not as messy as that because you don't have all of this floating around. But yeah, again, just do that, that's all. And then just brush it down. That's how you flat iron it. Again, though, my only thing, if you are doing this, if you are not comfortable with flat irons, get someone else to do it for you or don't do it at all. Again, looks perfectly fine if you don't want to, or you're not comfortable, or if you don't have a flat iron. You really don't need to do this step. I just like it because it's prettier to me. And also, if you hold the heat on it for too long, or if you go over that piece of yarn too many times, like if it didn't like take, I don't want you to go over it too many times because it might melt the yarn like beyond repair. It could burn it, and I've done it before. It makes the yarn like go from this long to like this long, because it shrinks it when it gets hot and cools off. It burns. So, and it also smells terrible. When you do it without it burning, it doesn't smell like anything. So don't worry about that. But just be very, very, very careful when you flat iron, basically, because it's a hot thing. Oh, and in case you're wondering, after I do this piece here, I'm not just putting my flat iron on the carpet, on the floor. I'll show you what I'm using here, because you also obviously, if you have a flat iron that came with a heat protectant like bag or a heat surface, something to put it on, use that. But I don't have one of these because, again, it's just a very cheap one. I'm using a hot pad just from the kitchen. I usually have my whatever the really hot thingy is for PCs, that I usually have that on it, but since I'm not playing game on there right now, it's not on and it's not producing heat enough to, you know, create an issue. So yeah, that's what I usually use that for. So I'm just borrowing it right now for a flat iron. It's not going on the carpet, it's on a hot pad. So yeah, again, if you have a flat iron, put it on something that's a heat protectant. Again, not that I'm paranoid or anything about burning things, because I've done it before. Just be very careful. But yeah, I am going to get back to doing the flat ironing bit, which is super satisfying, and I love this part. I should be done shortly, so I should be back to show you it in this video. And also, once it cools and stuff, and once I have it all done, I'll just shake it out and it'll get a little bit more fluffy than this. But yeah, for right now, I love this thing. And again, I was gonna leave it like this because it's so fluffy and satisfying. It's just so fluffy. And it's also super soft for being acrylic yarn. This stuff, what was it? The Loops and Threads or something like that from Michaels. I highly recommend, and it wasn't inexpensive. I mean, it was more expensive than the Red Heart stuff like I've used before. obviously, obviously, because that was like a big bulk thing, and it's not that great of yarn, but it works. This stuff is way better. It is a little bit more expensive, but it's not outrageous. But it brushed out so well. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to brushing my little tail out, and then I will show you when it's done. But so far, I am amazed at how well this is turning out. And again, how well it moves. It just moves so well. I am amazed by that. But yeah, I'll be right back. Let me finish up this. Yeah, hopefully, also I'm getting fuzzies all over my hoodie. That's annoying. That's another thing when you're doing this. I don't recommend wearing all black clothes like I am doing, because I have on black pants too. So yeah, I don't recommend wearing all black clothes when you do this, because it sticks to everything. You're gonna want to vacuum and dust and everything when you finish. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get back to this. It's still the same day and I'm finished with it, and oh my god, I'm so happy. This yarn, I can't find my other tail for some reason. I put it back in my closet a couple months ago and I haven't used it since. And it's in this closet right here. It must have fallen or something, and that closet is a nightmare right now. So I'm not going to look for it, otherwise I'd show you it, but I do have a video on my channel about it, and thank you guys so much for watching that, because that video has crazy amount of views on it. It's insane, and I love all your comments and everything. Yeah, I've just enjoyed chatting with you guys, and you know, hearing how you did with that tail and stuff, and thank you for watching it and all the things. But anyway, if you haven't seen that one, it is on my channel. If I know how to, I'll try and link it in the description. Or in the comments or something. I don't know how to do that, but I can try and figure it out. But I do have another tail video, and that's the tail that I was looking for. Can't find it, and because it is a couple years old, I've never worn it out of the house, but it's still in rough shape, because that yarn just, I mean, it's cheap, sure, so I mean, I guess to learn on, it's great. This yarn, I've told you about it already, the brand and stuff, from Michaels. It's so good. It flat ironed amazing. Anyway, I'm done with it, and yes, it's not near as fluffy as my black one, like it's thick as my black one, but it's so much better, and it's so soft. It honestly feels like cat fur. It's so soft. I mean, look at how this thing is shiny, and it, again, how it moves. It's just like, I love this thing. I'm gonna be wearing this thing a lot. Again, I don't wear them outside. I'm not brave enough to do that. But in my room, I'm gonna have this thing on a lot. But yeah, it's adorable, and it's so shiny. I love it so much. So this is how it looks. Again, here's the top, where I put the clip on. You can use anything. And yeah, it's just like, I can shake it. It doesn't get all tangled like my other one. I love this thing so much. And also, it's the same color as her. So I'm impressed by the colors too. I mean, it's a little bit brighter, but it's a Squishmallow, so it's closer to the cartoon. Yeah, I really enjoyed making this, and I hope the instructions were helpful for you and stuff, and that you enjoyed the video. I know it was a longer one, and obviously you can use whatever colors you want for your tail. I just wanted to make a bluey one. That's why I did this. And then if you are still here, because this was a long video, if you are still here at the end, I did want to say one more thing that don't really know how to go about it the best way, but I'm gonna try. So if I'm gonna try and do this like well, because I looked into them as well when I first wanted a tail before I made my first one. I was thinking about getting a real one. And then I realized how cruel that was. So if you have a real one, I'm not saying there's like, you're a bad person or anything like that. Trust me, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, if you can avoid getting a real one, please do, because even the humane ones, you're still taking someone's life, or, you know, the animal's life, for their tail, just so you can enjoy it. When you can make one, especially with this yarn, and it looks real, and moves real, and it's just like, you can make it look real. You don't have to take someone's life for your enjoyment, basically. Even the humane ones. But if you do have a real one, again, I'm not saying like throw it away, because don't do that either. Keep it, just take good care of it and honor it if you do have a real one, and don't get any more. Again, I'm sorry if that was, you know, not worded the right way, but it's something that I did want to say because I looked into it as well. I thought about getting a real one before I learned that you can make it out of yarn. So this is for me too. Just try not to get the real ones, because no matter what, it is cruel. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry if I said anything that was not worded correctly there. I tried. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I really hope this helped you with your tail. Again, I have another video. Sorry, I'm on my toesies. I have another video on this channel. It should pop up pretty easy because it has a ton of views. And again, thank you guys so much. I can't get over that. It's just insane, and I'm very, very grateful that you guys have, you know, been able to enjoy it and make your own tails and stuff from that one. But this one, this yarn, so much better. It is so shiny on the video. It is in real life too, but like on the video it's like super shiny. But yeah, I loved making this thing. I'm going to enjoy it a ton. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you were able to make your tail. If you have any questions about it, like what yarn or anything, stuff I use, where I got it, I'll try and answer it. I don't know all the answers because I don't know where I got that brush from. I think it's just like a cat brush, but it might have come in a craft kit. I don't remember. But if you have any questions whatsoever, I'll be happy to answer them. And thank you so much for watching the video, especially if you made it this far. And I hope you love your new tail and have fun making it and everything. But I'll have a new video next week, next Sunday, and I'll see you then. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Have fun with your tail. One more thing, I almost forgot. I mentioned Mom texted me about that cookie jar thing. I got it, so let me just show you that real quick. So if you're still here, you get bonus footage. This is it. It's from Home Goods, and it just has some villains on it, and it's adorable. It's supposed to be a Halloween thing, but it's just Disney villains, and she thought I would like it, and I do. So yeah, I wanted to show you it since I did mention it. Anyway, bye. Thanks for watching the video.